You there?
Yeah, I think we got it now.
All right, that's a good thing.
Man, all this technical stuff.
There's a lot of hoops to jump through. But
I think I got stuck in the first hoop.
at least we had some decent
yeah,
weather.
we got it now. Good God, man. Look how fast that happens. Jeez. Let's see. Hold on a second.
All right,
Give me one.
a sip of a drink. I know it's not Wednesday, but just for the
No, it's definitely not Wednesday.
yeah, we're a day late and a dollar short, kind of like the my MO.
We're gonna have to change the Wednesdays because of football season. With my oldest boy, it is not gonna work on a Wednesday. Football is real important in the South, and it's not gonna work on a Wednesday.
Yeah, so I think going out to people that are viewing this, I think honestly like our best laid plans right now are just going to be kind of transitioning from so much live feed to we've got the channel up and running. We don't have any videos posted yet, but it's going to be under the Whiskey Wednesday Waterfowl, and there's a break, between the words, and we're gonna post the videos to that. That should be coming out on Wednesdays. That'll kind of make it where Ryan and I aren't so pushed to try and get everything done on that Wednesday, but we can do Tuesday since his kids got football. Yesterday was beautiful weather, so I think that was also opportunity to.
Yeah, I had a good win. I had to be in the deer stand also.
Yeah.
Before football game started.
That's right. So we're going to try and post the stuff on Wednesdays and then do the recordings and stuff on Tuesdays. The podcast kind of thing, that's kind of in the works right now. We don't have everything solidified on that, but as soon as we do, we're going to go on the live feed again. We'll make sure everybody knows kind of like what we're doing. Blake says, does the break between words have an underscore? No, there's no underscore in between it. It's just there's three words that are written out. There's a break between them, just a space is all it is. There's no underscore, no hyphens, backslash, pound, this, whatever. So, it's just those three words. But we're trying to work out the technical difficulties on all this. We're not exactly the tech age people. My oldest son is really helping me out. Computers were a boat anchor for me for the longest time, so I'm learning and he's teaching. It's a good thing. So anyhow, so I think
the biggest thing is, I think if we could get people just to chime in and try to pass us along, and the whole thing, is about the youth. Like Matthew Dalton says, what y'all got going on. We want to push the younger generation. We talked about this earlier, how we can make them a better hunter, how to be more respectful scouting, do the right thing. Just things as far as waterfowl, anything. Just be the better person, do the right thing, do it the right way, and stuff like that. If we can just get the younger generation to do this, that's what all this is about.
Yeah, I mean,
I see there's people that's logging in that didn't hear the first one, I'm sure. That all this, what this is all about, is just trying to get the younger generation to do it the right way. And if we don't even go over a topic that you think is important, y'all do it. Send us a message and say, hey, we need to talk about this. You see people doing these kind of things, whatever. What can we do to change everything? And that's what all this is about. It ain't really got to do about hunting, life in general, everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in waterfowl that can kind of transfer over into life. As far as like life lessons go. Job stuff. Yeah, jobs are a big thing. You hear a lot nowadays where people talk about like the silent quitters. in job sites. You know, these people, they're going to work, but they're not doing anything. I mean, they've kind of decided on their own that like this is a, you know, not where I want to be, not the, you know, not worth my effort, but I'm gonna stay here, get a check. But you know, you take that, you put that into, yeah, you put that into waterfowl, and like, you know, are you gonna go out there and half-ass a hunt? No. Like when you go to hunt, you're gonna put effort into it. You're gonna put your time into it. You know, hopefully you put a scout into it beforehand, so you know kind of like what the birds are doing. So a lot of these things, like we're talking about, a lot of this stuff is going to transfer over. So you're not just listening to waterfowl stories. You're not just listening to, you know, how to do things the right way. But you take a lot of these applications, put it into real life, and say, this could make me a better person. This could make me a better hunter. This could make me a better husband. You know, a better boyfriend. You know, I know some of these younger people, they're just dating and stuff. But the whole idea is, you know, if you're a better person and you're actively trying to be a better person, you know, that's gonna shine. People are gonna see that. It's like leading by example, you know. So I think that if we
give 100% whatever you do,
yeah,
whether it's with your family, your job, your kids, your life, whatever, just don't be a half-asser. I'm telling you, because if you like going back to the waterfowl, you half-ass things and you scout it and you know where they're at, and then you get in there and do something stupid and try to change something when you know what you're doing is the right thing.
yeah,
don't change it. Just do what's right.
right, yeah. And I mean, as far as the change stuff goes, you know, if you're in a hunt and it's not working, you know, make it what you want it to be. Same goes with your job. Same goes with your life. You know, actively make a change for the positive. You know, you can't sit there and was the definition of idiocy or whatever it is, lunacy. You know, doing something the same way so many times and expecting different results.
Same,
You know,
yeah.
yeah, you've got to change. You got to change things up. You know. But yeah, I think a lot of this stuff kind of, you know, it encompasses life, it encompasses relationships, and you know, if you listen to it with an open mind, then you know you can get a lot more out of it than just, man, these guys are shooting some geese, and you know they're talking about wind direction and that kind of thing. So I think that's the kind of the idea we're trying to project. You know, kind of giving people a little bit more, you know, more info on, you know, how to do it the right way. And we try and see some positive change in youth, old hunters alike, and I think that's a great thing. We've getting. I'm reading some of these things right here.
Yeah,
I got my glasses on so I can see.
Each generation how to do it the correct way. I've encountered numerous amount of disrespectful hunters in public that to make it still worth it. Yeah, I mean, it's I would say that's kind of like adversity. If you can overcome and like anything in life, adversity. If you can, that's why I like hunting in South Carolina so much, because it's so hard. You got to deal with people like he's talking about, Blake. You got to deal with people that make it tough when you sleep in a hole with your kids on youth day, and you know you're on the X, and then all of a sudden you got 5 boats around and you slept there all freaking night. You're like, what? And your son's like, what is going on? Why are these birds coming in here? Well, This is what we had to deal with. You know what we'll do next year? We'll change our tactics. We'll change some things up, or put some other people in here to try to hold this hole down or something. Whatever you got to do. It's all about learning and doing it the right way, and just learn it.
Yeah, and
learning is actual getting out and doing it is learning.
Right.
Hearing us talk about it, we can preach about all this stuff, but if these kids don't get out there and do it and learn for themselves, because when we were growing up, we were taught, like, you learn it from hearing how you do things. But now I think this generation, they need to get out there and experience it, do it, learn the hard way, and physically see it. They don't comprehend you telling them like we're trying to do. Encourage them to get out there, do it, learn the hard way. You don't get the benefit you wanted, but you sit back and realize, why didn't this work like we wanted it to work? Oh, this factor played into it. It's kind of like turkey hunting to me. I just got into turkey hunting, like I said before. You sit out there and you got the bird roosted and this and that, and all of a sudden it don't come in. You hear it hung up with hens and stuff, and you just sit back and just realize, okay, what can I do? I know where this bird's roosting. I know where he's dropping down. What can I change to make this be successful?
Right.
And if they would put that much effort into something, I think things would change for them and they'd be more successful.
Absolutely. You know, going on that job line, that's a thing, you know, putting 100% effort into something, you know, put 100% effort into your hunts. Most people, they want to put 100% effort into it, but it's tough to really do that sometimes. Feasibly, you know, monetarily, time-wise, you know, there's a lot of factors that kind of play into that. But if you give it as much as you can, like, feasibly give it in a hunt, you know, you can, if you don't get the results that you wanted or it intended, like, it's a learning experience. You know, it's just same with your job. You know, you put 100% effort in there, people notice the hard work. You know, Ryan's a business owner, I'm a business owner, and we've had several people that have worked for us over the years. And, you know, you see people that might not be the best, you know, the best at what they do, but they're putting forth a lot of effort to try and, you know, make it like their best. And, you know, people see that. People
be there at 8 o'clock, they show up at 7:45. That's the kind of person you want working for you. Whether or not they know what they're doing, but the simple fact that they realize, okay, the job starts at 8, I'm there at 7:45, that matters. I'd rather have somebody like that shows up at 8:30 and has a little bit of knowledge. I'd rather have somebody that wants to be there, wants to do the right thing, and show up early.
And that,
be eager to learn.
Yeah, exactly. And that can kind of transfer also into like your group of hunters as well. Let's just say that, you know, you got a group of 4 or 5 people. You got one guy that's, you know, the damn good boat driver. You got one guy that, you know, can definitely scout a little bit more than the next guy. You got one guy that, you know, he's obviously a better shot than everybody else. You got a left-handed guy, you know, he's going to be on one end. Shout out Parker. So, so there's that. And then you've also got the callers, you know, because the caller, you're not going to put this guy that is not so good calling with, you know, the guy, you know, is blowing the duck call, trying to get all the birds to work in. You know, you have to know your limitations. You have to know your group. You got to be able to put, you know, the guys with better strengths in the position to show off their strengths, and then also maybe give them an opportunity to teach some of the other guys that, you know, they're in your group or like friends with or whatever, and I give them an opportunity to learn a little bit more, you know, from one of the other guys. You know your strengths, know your weaknesses within the group, and, you know, show. I guess, what do you say? You're exploiting the weakness or whatever. Find where your weakness is in the group, and as a group, make that person grow in that certain area. You know, a lot of times you're not going to make somebody call a lot better, but I mean, you can definitely make somebody a better driver. You know, for the boat.
Up to it and say, hey, I can't do this. What do I need to do to be better?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, y'all know this difference in the average of the work ethic of waterfowl nowadays? Absolutely. It's all about social media now. It's all about who can get there first, have the latest and greatest stuff, and da-da-da. I think people don't put in the effort as far as scouting. We're scouting now for stuff that we're not even going to hunt for weeks away from now.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, and I'd show.
People don't think about this stuff until it's time. That everything is all. They don't. I was telling my wife today how about dove season. I was like, you know what? I'm so focused on deer season, I'm not even paying attention to the doves and what's coming up. We got to scale back here.
Yeah.
What matters the most to me is like waterfowl. It's like we gotta put a pause on this lake trip and stuff. We gotta start looking for some geese and some damn teal and stuff right now. The lake days are over.
Oh yeah.
I mean, You got to prepare. You got to be ready. You can't go in to something you ain't got you know nothing about, and try to just walk up into the middle of it and think you're going to be successful, because it's not going to happen.
Right.
I'll tell you that right now. If you don't pattern birds, plan things out, you're not going to be successful.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's like if you take a job, you get interviewed for a job, and you're ready to go take the job, and say you start Monday and it's Thursday, you got interviewed. If you go from Thursday to Sunday to go hang out on the lake and drink beer and hang out with your friends and you're not preparing yourself for Monday when you start this job.
Right.
Your mind's not focusing on these things, and you won't be successful.
Absolutely. And I've found that the headaches get worse, the hangovers get worse, and when you're young, it's a little bit easier to kind of run at 100 miles an hour, but as you get older, you find that's not really applicable anymore, especially having a family, having kids and all. But we're striving to make everything better, through each individual. That's probably the biggest thing. Just make yourself a better person. Make yourself a good steward of the outdoors. Learn something each time you go out there. You're not going to get any better as a hunter or an outdoorsman if you're not learning. If you make mistakes, you're learning, and that's something that you do. You just write stuff down. That's a big thing.
You gotta make mistakes.
Absolutely, and writing things down is another huge thing. I found my dad passed away recently, and I found a lot of the stuff, and it unbelievable amount of stuff that he would write on, and just gas receipts, just write anything that he was thinking down, and going through all his stuff. I mean, it's taken weeks to do, but you find so much knowledge and so much, I guess it was interesting to read a lot of the things that he had put down, and you do that in a hunting aspect or an outdoors lifestyle aspect, and you can just go back and read your notes throughout the season, date the stuff, log in what you're seeing on your scouting, log in what you've done on your hunting, and that's weather, that's wind direction, that's bird count, that's where you're at, water levels. That's another big key. If you're hunting water that's fluctuating, write that stuff down. But this whole thing.
There's half the people listen. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you good.
I'm just saying. I bet there's half the people listen to this, or half the people that we follow on Instagram, don't have a logbook like we have, as far as, like you said, water level, temperature outside, wind direction, what we saw in this hole when the water was this level, what we saw in this hole at this level, and And we go back every year before the season. We'll come over here in the garage and hang out and look and say, okay, 3 years ago, the water level was this.
Yeah.
We killed them here. And we do this constantly.
Yeah.
And if you put that much effort in it, you'll be successful.
Yeah, and that goes for every state that you hunt in. That goes for every species that you hunt.
It ain't just South Carolina.
Yeah, and it ain't just ducks. I mean, you can transfer that to deer, doves, turkeys, and you can go back, especially like any kind of migratory birds that you're chasing out of state. When you go out of state, what the water level is where you're hunting at, what the conditions are, what the bird movement is, what portion of the migration that you're in, and you can go back and look at that, years later when you're hitting a lull in the season and you're like, well, what the hell was happening like 2 years ago? Go back to your logbook. That's a huge deal. Write all your stuff down. I can go back and look at it.
On the water table, you can watch all the graphs and stuff, but the Army Corps of Engineers, you can see everything. And that stuff, it plays a major role in all that stuff. I was looking at it tonight as far as going scouting Sunday. Like, where's the water going to be down there? Where are these birds going to be?
Oh, yeah. Be respectful of, the land. That's a big thing for me. Don't go out there and trash the place, leaving your empty shell boxes. I mean, everybody is talking about the aspect of public hunting, everybody that's listening and everybody that has bought a license, for WMA in the state of South Carolina, you all are given the exact same amount of land as the next guy. You get the same amount. Why do you want to go out there and trash it? It's beyond me. Pick up your shell boxes, pick up your food containers and wrappers and drink cups, bottles, and all that stuff. There's nothing worse than getting somewhere and knowing that it's a relatively well hunted area and finding somebody else's trash, and then you have to carry that out on top of hopefully more birds and all your gear. But that's just aggravating, and it's asinine for.
What bothers me is the summertime when everybody's out the groove and everybody's hanging out on the sandbars, our local rivers that we all hang out on. And I'm hoping some of these kids will see this. We've all been there. I ain't gonna lie. We've all been there. We've drank underage. We've done stupid stuff in our life. I understand it. Everybody's gonna do it. I don't care how much I preach. Don't do it. They're gonna do it. We've all done it.
It's a learning curve.
But if you're gonna do it, be respectful. Don't throw your damn beer cans out in the middle of the river and make my 13-year-old kid pick them up when we're on the way to the sandbar. And I always teach my kids, you take something. I mean, if you take something, you pick up cans, do whatever.
Yeah.
If you're taking wildlife or whatever,
pack it in, pack it out,
or put it back. Yeah. Wood duck boxes. We'll talk about that later. But still, just leave your stuff on the sandbar. We'll pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be that person that runs around and you got 6 people in your boat and throw all your trash in the damn river. And don't dirty up the waters, because I'm going to tell you right now, that's going to cause a problem later in life when we're all in this together, and we'll lose everything. If they see us battling this kind of stuff and we're not in this together, we're going to lose it all.
Yeah.
Before too long, you won't be able to hang out on the rivers. I done watched a big river. Justin McGrady, a buddy of mine, was talking about this the other day, and said he's tired of seeing trash floating down the river, fishing lines across the river, and this and that. I want to get him in on to talk about that.
Yeah.
And a good hole we hunt on the river, I'm not going to name the river, but we can't hunt it no more because now there's going to be a damn bicyclist nature walk all the way up from this river all the way down to so-and-so.
Yeah.
One of the great holes that we hunt, and we've lost it because we don't show up to the meetings. When it's time to talk about the problem, you got these people that show up that are bicyclists, and I get it. I understand they want to ride their bikes and this and that. And we talked about this with the Sumter National Forest about scouting. Remember when me and you scouted on the bike trail?
Yeah.
We've lost all this land. They've raised our duck stamp, and we've lost all this time we can hunt.
Yeah.
But 2 days, because these people showed up to these meetings and stuff, not to jump topics, but
no, that's
and we don't show up. And that's the thing that bothers me. Everybody wants to trash everything, bash everything, but they don't ever want to do anything about it.
Right.
That's the thing that bothers me.
Yeah, this whole thing is like the birds of a feather flock together. If sportsmen, waterfowlers, and like-minded individuals that enjoy the outdoors can come together and stick together, it's a thing. We could have a better voice. You don't want to be at odds with like the next guy, in the spot 150 yards down from you. You want to be able to act in accord. You got to sometimes suck it up a little bit, maybe, but you never know. You can make a friend out of it. These people, I mean, you see it now, like with this big change, like you're talking about, where it goes from, we had access to all this land, but then they put it to Wednesday and Saturday for waterfowl. I mean, we've all.
I say it's going to hurt it, but it's the fact that they raise your duck stamp, and then they take your hunting rights away, and then we weren't even warned about it. And I think these other people were warned about it, and a good buddy of mine, like we know, Clark, he's telling me that these people showed up. Nobody else showed up. They
Yeah.
want to bitch. They're seasonal. They want to bitch about things
Yeah.
when it's not time, and then when it comes time to, make changes, they don't show up.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I remember going to all those meetings for,
The weeds and the grass
for
and stuff.
submerged aquatic vegetation, the SAV meetings that they were having, and they were talking about all the diploid carp that were supposed to be dumped in Murray, and when all this stuff started, and you remember that, we had the big drawdown.
Oh, yeah.
Prior to that, we had a pile of grass in the lake. We were shooting divers. We had a great fishery. Some of the times I can remember, catching big bluegill, and we don't have that anymore. The fish had an escape route. They could go in the grass. Caught really nice largemouth, and not to say that there's not a lot of largemouth in Murray right now, but the thing is, you had a combined fishery and waterfowl area. It wasn't just a giant pool to swim in, which is kind of what it's become. But I do remember, like, getting back on topic, I remember going to these meetings and stuff, and me, you, Paul, Clarkey, I remember there was a handful of us that went, but you think about just the few of us that went to try and voice our opinion. I mean, I battled that as much as I could. I said there's really no validity in a lot of this stuff that DNR is getting. You don't know how much per acre one carp is going to eat of native vegetation versus an invasive weed. So essentially, you're just saying something's coming out here and it's going to eat this. This is what we're trying to get rid of. Well, you're also depleting our natural resources in that same realm. But we had a few of us that were sticking together for that. But then these other people, they were over here, that wanted all this stuff gone. They wanted all the grass gone. They wanted the lake to become a giant swimming pool. They wanted, the freedom of jumping off their dock and, icky stuff not touching their legs. And these people, they came together way more than the sportsmen and the outdoorsmen and the hunters did. I went to several meetings across the state, so you get to see what's happening in Greenville, what's happening in Charleston, what's happening in Columbia, and all these different meeting spots. There ain't but a handful of people showing up. So as sportsmen, we're in a time where things are funky, man. Like, it's different, and if you don't stick together as sportsmen and show that you're not able to be divided just over small things. Just remember that everybody's in this for a common goal, and the better person that you are, and the better person, the better person that you can be, is going to make the sport as a whole better, and that's what we're striving for. If you can take an individual that wants to be better, they can impact the sport. They can impact the sport positively, and you never know, that one guy might be 14, 15 years old.
One person, man.
Yeah, you'll be 14, 15 years old, coming up, listening to us, and they might have an idea that nobody's come up with, and we have probably the best plan that you could come up with, as far as bettering the sport or bettering waterfowl. Who knows what the idea would be. I'm drawing blanks right now, but I'm just saying that they're.
Well, what's sad is these people. We talked about it on the river over there where we hunt. Used to be one of the biggest mallard places ever. I'm gonna say it, on the Broad River. And they let this one guy come in from Clemson years ago. Thought he could change this whole thing, and he made it worse. He made it all about ringnecks, and it's just. It ain't about ringnecks. It's all about these. I think people now, they want a degree. They want somebody with some education or something, and they don't listen to the outsiders like us that's been doing this for a long time, know the right way to do it, and they won't listen to our input. It's all about an education, a biologist, or this or that.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, it's a damn wild animal.
Absolutely.
It's like corn. People bitching about corn, putting corn out for deer.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna put one out. They're a damn wild animal. They're gonna find food.
Oh yeah.
Just get it. Find where you need to be, where they're gonna be. You can see where they nip briars or get on a white oak or something.
Yeah.
And kill them. At the end of the day, they're wild animals. Just let them be.
Right.
I think there's too many people coming in with these degrees and stuff and trying to change everything. I'm not going to get into politics and stuff, but I'm just saying, we need to slow down. Just stop.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the way it used to be. And
enjoy
these kids and
enjoy the moments.
How we used to do it.
Yeah. Enjoy the moments. Enjoy your time outside. You know.
Yeah.
I remember we used to fight tooth and nail to try and get a couple days off, you know, throughout the week, and you know, you got to trade out with somebody, pay somebody a couple extra dollars to stay later in the afternoon so you can go scout, or come in early in the morning so you can get a hunt in. I remember doing that, you know, for years. And nowadays people.
I'm gonna interrupt you. I bet half these people in this generation look at their vacation and say, I know this from some of my buddies. I say, hey man, I want to go to Arkansas and hunt with you this year. Not one of my well-known places to hunt, but I want to go. Well, I got to go this week. It don't work like that. It just doesn't work like that. I mean, I understand people don't have jobs where they can, you know, pick up and move, but that's how this whole. It just doesn't work like that. It's like you got moon phases, you got temperature, you got. We need
There's
to teach
a lot of
people to look ahead and say, hey, it's locked up here. This freeze line's here. This freeze line's gonna be here for 2 weeks. We got to go now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then when they do take the week off and they're not killing nothing for 2-3 days because they don't take the first 2 days to scout, and they get frustrated, and then they take these South Carolina tactics they have and go over there and then ruin that state. It just doesn't work like that. You got to. They're an animal. You got to adapt to them.
Yeah.
You can't just go and say, hey, I'm off this week. I'm going to Arkansas. I'm gonna slaughter them. No, it doesn't work that way.
Right.
It don't. I mean, they might be 2 states above you or something.
Right. If you're going to go out there and like your job specifically says that your time's got to be put in, you know, a year ahead. My brother is a lot like that with the fire department, you know, and he tries to consistently get, you know, the same weeks off every year that we've kind of seen as a whole, you know, being productive. So he's kind of stuck with that, but at the same time, he knows that the expectations, it might hit great when he's out there, it might not, but you're thankful for being able to go.
Right. Yeah.
You're appreciative of, you know, the time together. I'm appreciative of my brother's time coming out there with me. A lot of times I'm out there for, you know, weeks at a time, and I'm by myself, and I enjoy hunting by myself. You know, Ryan, you're the same way, but I enjoy hunting with my brother. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not. I mean, the whole thing is you scout, you try and make your hunt, you try and make your life, try and make your relationships as great as you can possibly make them, and ultimately you're in control of that. And if you want to go out of state and you want to be productive, and you have the ability to kind of work with, you know, the weather, the moon phase, all that, you've got it whipped at that point, you know, because, you know, you're able to travel when birds are on the move. But as life in general,
don't ruin it for everybody else, and don't go out there and be that shithead that shows up at the boat ramp and ain't got a freaking clue where the hell he's going, but he's got this Havoc and the fastest 25 to hot 2 mega 60 whatever it is, and post an Instagram post that I'm the first one to the hole, but we ain't gonna kill shit. Don't ruin it for everybody else. Just do it the right way.
I couldn't say how many times.
You can just kind of sit back and just be in the back, and you might be more successful.
Yeah.
Don't waste your time trying to get the fame on social media. Do it the right way. You might get somebody, you just sit back, you never know. You might get somebody to show up at a boat ramp that comes in late like we do sometimes, and says, hey, You want to go with us?
Yeah.
We don't watch all these idiots leave.
Yep.
Let them go do their thing. You ride with us. We'll show you how to do it the right way.
Yep. Everybody's going this way. We're going that way.
Be this big bad person.
Yep.
Huh?
I said everybody's going this way. We're going that way.
Go the other way.
Yeah. I mean, the idea is, you know, you want to be on the X. You want to have scouted. You know, a lot of times that's obviously not always doable. But here again, you hunt with a group that you've got a guy that can go out and scout a little bit more than the other guys. But if you're working together, trying to come together as a whole, you know, you're gonna make the sport better. I think ultimately that's what it is. You know, we're trying to make people better, trying to make the sport better. I think it'll work.
I saw a post from David Strickland today. He was talking about, you don't think we're going to lose this thing? Keep doing what you're doing. We're going to lose it. I'm telling you. But these people don't come together and do it the right way.
Yeah.
You don't think you lost nothing? I don't care who's listening to this thing. Look at your country right now.
Absolutely.
Keep fighting against each other to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, without getting too political.
And then you won't have to worry about racing nobody no hole to go shoot no duck or nothing.
Absolutely. All these activists, man, they are activists. They are extreme, and they go to the extreme because like that's something that they believe in. Herein lies where we're at. Like this is probably not the most extreme that we could do, but this is actually giving us a platform. You know, going live and doing these videos and podcasts and stuff. This is a platform for us to be extremists, you know, within our life, within our lifestyle. But we don't, you know, we're not running out there in fuzzy suits and, you know, we don't have tails hooked to us and we're doing some kind of animal characters or whatever in public. And you have extremists in all different sides. And these people are actively trying to put division in the outdoors and hunting. If you don't come together as a whole and say we can do this, we can work together, we can get along, we can do everything that we can possibly do for the sport to make it better and create something that is not non-divisive, I guess. That might be the.
Oh, I gotta walk out here to the truck.
That might be my best way to put it. But these people are crazy these days, man. Look at all the stuff that they're doing, all these protests and everything. These people believe in something. And I think that as waterfowlers and outdoorsmen.
For their right, and none of us fight for them.
Yeah, I mean we've got to.
We don't come to, we're too damn seasonal, man. We all bit. Hold on a second.
Don't give them fuel for the fire. You can't give them fuel for the fire. You gotta.
Go ahead.
I said you can't give them fuel for the fire. You gotta show that, you know, these people stand hand in hand and, you know, they fight for what they believe in, and, you know, we're all in this together. We're working towards a common goal, and I think people start seeing that, the activists start seeing that, it's going to change the way that they view hunters. Now, they might not like people killing stuff or, you know, posting dead pics and whatever. You know,
that's another thing. When you do post your pile pics of your ducks and stuff like that, how about post a picture of you cleaning them, cooking them. Don't high five your buddy and just show, oh, we got 16 ducks today, da da da. When you do post that picture, the next day, or post a picture of you cleaning it, and the next day post a picture of you cooking it, eating.
Absolutely.
You're eating, you're providing.
Absolutely.
It ain't, you don't dump them in the ditch.
No, hell no.
Post a picture of you killing them, cleaning them. Next day, make you some poppers. You watch a football. Do something like that.
Oh yeah.
Don't just post the pile pics. Post it of cleaning, cooking,
yeah,
and providing for your family, and maybe that might change it.
And we're gonna kind of get into that too, and maybe next week we do a little bit more talking about ducks, geese, you know, some different ways to prepare your wild game and your waterfowl. Learned a lot of different ways to do it. My dad was a hell of a cook, and I've got books and books of recipes and stuff that he's written down. My dad was amazing. A lot of people, he had the pleasure of eating his food, across the years, whether at duck camp or, back in South Carolina. So, a lot of people had the pleasure of eating his food. So maybe next week, so we're not trying to draw this out too awful long tonight. Maybe next week you want to try and get together. We'll have all this posted onto the YouTube channel as well. But maybe next week we do a little bit of talking about some food. We're getting ready to come into like the greatest season ever. You got goose season getting ready to open, dove, football, a little Oktoberfest. I have a ritual, guys. I'll tell you this: I will not drink an Oktoberfest until I get feathers and blood on my hands. That's like my.
I won't drink it. Period.
That's my ritual. Yeah, I'll drink Ryan's and I'll drink mine.
We can't go live with the YouTube thing, and we can't do it on Wednesday. We're still gonna call it Wednesday, being that my son's got football, because that's really important to me. I love college football. I love high school football. I love middle school football. It's my passion. We didn't think about that before we started this, and we might not be able to get the YouTube page going or whatever, but we'll still go live. It might not be on Wednesday, but we're still going to call it Whiskey Wednesday. And it might be a different day. But if you can comment, say what you want to talk about, what we can do to make this better as far as hunting, your relation, if you got a relationship issue, whatever, your job, whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah.
It's everything.
Send it as a message. Yeah, send it as a message on Instagram to me or Ryan. Send it, in comments or whatever, even when we go live. And, we're still going to be going live on a lot of different aspects, a lot of different topics, just because we're trying to differentiate our content. So this will kind of span a lot of different realms of, topics. So if you have questions, you have, things that you think need to be discussed, things that you want us to.
I don't care if it's your. Sorry to interrupt. I don't care if it's your damn relationship. If it's getting in the hunting season, you're like, why is my wife saying I can't do this, or my girlfriend da. We can show you ways to take your girlfriend or your wife and do this.
Yeah. And
make it worthy for both of you.
Yeah, maybe they're just looking for more inclusiveness. Yeah,
they might just want to be in the sunshine, and you can get in your boat and put them in the sunshine. And
absolutely.
You can run around and look for habitat. It might not be duck season. You might be able to look for grass, habitat, where they want to be. You can work on a wood duck box. You can do whatever. Yeah. Just put something back and do it the right way.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, doing it the right way. And
Blake said, talk about ways we can
bring rice back, i.e. how to market the sale of rice at a large enough scale to encourage farmers and plantation owners to plant. All right,
so I don't know if that'll ever come back, honestly.
Yeah, in South Carolina, it would definitely be hard to do that. You're talking about the olden days of, all the plantations down there with, pon, rice hope and all.
You can't compete with the tammy shooters now.
Yeah, it's a lot of that has the rice is kind of like the Western food now. Corn is definitely the Eastern food. So yeah, we'll talk more about it.
That one day, the whole corn deal. We hear about it. I've listened to it on multiple podcasts. I mean, the corn it's stopping the migration. No, I don't think it's stopping the migration, but I don't think it's helping it. But I don't think it's stopping it. I think we should talk about that one day, and maybe influence some of these other guys not to shoot the corn ponds and go shoot ringnecks and stuff like that.
Right, because it is a
get out on the wild and learn your lessons. Don't go somewhere. It's like you go. I've ran into Hank Parker multiple times at the Broad River, and just I could go to a concert and see him, but you go over there and you see him, it's a different thing. It's like, holy crap, I'm at the same damn boat ramp this guy's at. It ain't like I bought a ticket to go see him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's there. At the boat ramp that I'm at, I'm like, what are you doing here? It's like, I just love this place.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, you're enjoying the same place that I'm enjoying.
Yeah.
But you could go listen to a singer somewhere and pay a ticket to see him, or go to a damn Bassmasters thing and see him. I don't know about a concert, he ain't a singer, but whatever. I'm just saying it's different when you do something like that instead of, paying to see somebody. When you roll up on them in your own territory and they cherish what you got, look at it the same way you do, it's just different. That to me is like corn ponds. I don't agree with them. I don't know.
I think ultimately what it
We
is.
shouldn't even get on that topic.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I mean we could definitely go on about this for a long time.
Anything from that as a new hunter.
Yeah, there's a lot of content within that topic right there that we could definitely talk about for a long time, and
And I might not even be right about it, but to me, if you're growing up as a hunter and learning, that don't need to be your first step. You got no adversity. You got nothing, man.
Well, I will throw this.
It's like fish in a bucket.
Yeah, I will throw this in there. Like, while there has been corn growing in fields on the East Coast for a long, long time, this is something new. This is something new that's been introduced to birds. With the whole aspect of flooding and inundating fields with water, and now they've got specific breeds of corn that will only grow 3 feet. And you know what? I think maybe we should just kind of postpone that. Let's talk more about that on a different night. On a different show or something, because I think that we could really dive into that pretty deep and kind of show a lot of the pros and cons, and like definitely probably more cons than there is pros on it. But
I'm not telling them not to do it. I'm just
right.
saying don't start out doing it.
No,
it's
absolutely
like
not. No, if
jumping
you
on a bike without training wheels, don't wait and get on a bike without training wheels. It's kind of like the dog trainer, like Chris Aiken said: crawl, walk, run. Just learn it the hard way. Because if you start doing it the easy way, you're never going to be successful when that stuff's gone.
Yeah, I think
you
that.
Have to do it.
Yeah, a lot of these younger hunters.
It's never going to be successful.
Yeah, younger hunters these days, and not just younger hunters, but new hunters. Also, I think they kind of come to this sport because so much of it is publicized, so much of it is social media, and everybody's getting hit in the face with it. So they go out and they may be new to the sport, may not have had great mentors or whatever, but they have this expectation that they have to live up to, because they see all this stuff and they hear about all these people, famous people that are shooting 25, 30 geese in a hunt, or 25, 30 ducks in a hunt, and they're falling short of this. Like in the state of South Carolina, you're not going to have that. Unless you're hunting private land, and you're more often than not in a release bird situation, you're not going to have that very often in the state of South Carolina. So your expectations have been derivatives of what you're seeing in social media and on YouTube. So I think if we can get people to have like a realistic expectation and know that like they're working towards something, the scouting's on.
That's the key word. Work.
Yeah. I mean, waterfowling is work. You've got to. Yeah. You've got to be able to work, and
you can't be just given to you.
Yeah, put the effort in.
We need to talk about this next week, because I'm telling you, I think this new generation, I see all these stickers of these duck clubs and stuff, and then it's went from shooting tamies to ringnecks, maybe an occasional gadwall or something, and they think they're duck hunting. And I'm telling you, until you went out in the wild and had to deal with public hunters, predators, and you ain't done it. I mean, anybody can sleep in till 6 o'clock and go walk out into a blind and kill a ringneck and think you're a duck hunter. I just don't think that's right. I don't.
No.
And
no.
you don't see it in other states. You see it in this state.
Yeah. Which is.
And then these people that leave here that have done that and go to these other states, they think it's supposed to be that easy there, and they've never been trained to do it the right way, and they're the ones that create the bad habits in the other states and stuff. I just don't think it's right.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to set the precedence of your hunting with the fact that if you're not scouting, you're not hunting. I mean, the most important part of your hunt is your scout. You know, it's like you got to put A before B.
We're not going to shoot for 3 weeks from now.
Absolutely. You have to put A before B.
These birds might not even be here, but we know where the food source is. We know what they're doing.
Yeah. Pulling the trigger should be the easiest thing you do.
You want to hit that local restaurant in Florida. When you go to the beach, you know where it's at.
Yeah.
These ducks know where that's at.
Yep.
So we go pinpoint that food and see these birds are using it, so we know where to be when the other birds show up.
Exactly.
It's the same concept.
You got to know where the groceries are, because the ducks damn sure will. So, yeah.
And I don't think these people put this kind of knowledge into this. They just, another thing, like I said, I think everybody sees one man. I think they're all don't care about nothing until the last minute.
Right. Yeah.
I think
preparation goes a long way in the sport of waterfowling.
And they just don't get out and do their homework as far as school, duck hunting, their job, nothing.
Yeah. A guy mentioned earlier talking about
given to them and expected to be, okay, this is your first day, this is what you do. Don't tell them you know what to do, and then you get there and you ain't got a damn clue what to do. I mean, it's that simple.
Absolutely.
And you know what your wife's going to expect later on when it comes hunting season.
Yeah.
Just get your damn honeydews done. Do what you got to do. Because you know that you're going to be gone. It's the same thing. It's your job, your family, hunting. Everything's the exact same. If you put that, everybody puts so much effort into their hunting. If they put that much effort into their job, their family, and everything, we wouldn't be in this situation we're in today.
Right.
I promise you.
Yep. Absolutely. Like we said before, anybody has questions, comments, having issues with something, you know, love for us to talk about some more stuff. You know, message us on Instagram. You can text us if you got our number. And then, you know, like I said, I'm gonna have this posted on the YouTube. Give me a chance to edit it and everything, but I'll try and get everything posted up on YouTube tomorrow if I get a chance. Tomorrow's Friday, so I think I might have a decent win tomorrow. I might sit in a deer stand tomorrow too, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But we'll try and get everybody's, you know, questions, comments answered at some point in time. Trying to, you know, give everybody a platform to talk on. Give everybody a chance to ask questions. You know, obviously, if you're not asking questions, you either like know the answer, think you know the answer, may not really know the answer, but you know, ask a question. Chances are Ryan and I have been there, done that, as far as like the waterfowling goes, and you know, I feel like we're a plethora of knowledge, and we damn sure would rather you do it the right way. Give us a chance to give you a good answer, and so ask away. We'll definitely do what we can to to make sure that we address everybody, because that one person that we address can definitely make a difference. So y'all keep that in mind. Ryan, let's try and talk about some groceries next week. We'll talk might hit on a little bit of football, see how your boy does on the games and stuff next week, and then at the same time, let's go over some food stuff and waterfowl related cooking. We'll in the state of South Carolina, I tell you, this is a fun fact, guys. I know a lot of people have talk about the authenticity of onion sausage. So this is a big thing. I love onion sausage. Ryan loves onion sausage. We've made goose onion sausage before. with a lot of the early season geese that we've killed. But onion sausage is actually from the Midlands of South Carolina. People don't realize that.
Roll ups.
Yeah, and it was actually deemed and named some. Nowadays people call them po' boys. But historically speaking, that was back in. They started calling them Dixiecrats, and the Dixiecrat was 1948 was when what's the politician's name that Floyd Spence, wasn't it?
Floyd,
yeah. So Floyd Spence, he came out of the Republican Party kind of thing, and then he started the Dixiecrats. So it was kind of like your modern day Tea Party kind of thing. And so they were serving this sausage that was being made, which is kind of like dating back to like the Dutch Fork area, which technically was not Dutch, it was more like German descendants. But I know I'm kind of like going off in left field here, but the cool thing is, like, when they were holding their meetings, Floyd Spence and all, they were serving these sausages in the mornings, and it was onion sausage that like had been recipes that were handed down. So then they started calling the roll-ups the Dixiecrats. So that's where the name of it came from.
Speaking of Dutch Fork, we got a scrimmage them next week. I know this ain't gonna be pretty. God,
yeah, good luck.
I'm telling you, man, that's a different element over there, bud.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the taming of the waterfowl over there. I can promise you.
Well,
the best.
all right. Well, let's talk again next week. We'll have some stuff better figured out, and maybe not take up so much.
Let's talk about cooking. Let's talk about more of these corn ponds and stuff like that, and just get them to do it, the right way, how we were raised to do it, and not go shoot a tammy pond. Don't be that person to ride around and go shoot ringnecks in a palm frond blind in the middle of St. Sea or something like that. I'm not going to tell you not to do it. I'm just saying don't start out doing it. Because if you ever start doing it the easy way, you'll never do it the hard way, and you'll never learn nothing. I'm telling you.
Exactly.
You'll think that it needs to come this easy to you, and you'll think everything in life needs to come that easy to you. If you ain't got no adversity and have to fight for it and do it the hard way,
when do you learn?
Everything to be easy your entire life, and it don't work that way.
Yeah.
That's why I think you and I are on the same page if we can talk about this as far as hunting.
Yeah, because at that point, when do you learn?
It's so hard. Do it the hard way. Learn it. Don't take no easy ways to do it, and you'll be better in life. And anything you do with your family, your friend, everything.
Absolutely. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's talk again next week, and we'll go from there. So I enjoyed this week's talking, man. Hate we were a day late, but we've got wives, we've got children, we've got our own life adversities to overcome. So.
And Southeast winds.
Huh?
And we got football and Southeast winds for the deer stand.
Absolutely.
When they're there, you gotta go. That's another thing.
I know.
Don't go on a bad wind.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's right. All right. Well, that'll work. I'll catch you. I'll probably hit you up later on tomorrow or something like that. But anyhow, as far as like the viewers and stuff goes, we'll see y'all next week.
All right, man.
All right.
Good. Later.
Later.